Hello all, I am Dr. Ashish Agrawat. In this video, I am going to talk about the structure of the protein or organization of protein. This is a frequently asked question in university exam. It's a long question and also in the Viva. So there are four types of structure of protein: primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary. Right? Primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary. So linear sequence of amino acid that forms the primary structure of the protein. Then amino acids can be folded into the secondary structures like helical structure, that is alpha helix, and beta peptide sheets, where it secondary structure denotes the relation between amino acids, which are 3 to 4 amino acids apart from each other. Then we have a tertiary structure which is made up of this alpha helical and beta helix structure, okay, which is a three-dimensional structure. And when more than two polypeptides they combine together, they form the quaternary structure. So which are the bonds that are responsible for maintaining the structure? So the primary structure is mainly maintained by the peptide bond and also the disulfide linkage, disulfide bond. Okay, and these two are the covalent bonds. Covalent bonds. That means there is a sharing of electron. So main is peptide bond and also the disulfide linkage. Then secondary structure, example are alpha helix and beta pleated sheet. They are mainly maintained by the hydrogen bonds, where there is a sharing of electron between oxygen of this CO and hydrogen. Okay, oxygen is a negative charge, hydrogen positive. So this is a sharing of electrons. That is your hydrogen bond, which is a non-covalent bond. Non-covalent bond. Now, tertiary structure is maintained by the hydrogen bonds, and apart from hydrogen bond, there is a hydrophobic bond, which is this hydrophobic bond is between the which are the hydrophobic amino acids, the side chain of hydrophobic amino acid. Okay, they will form the hydrophobic bonds. Then van der Waals, which are the weak bond, also the ionic bonds or electrostatic bonds between the negatively charged and positively charged amino acids. Right, and quaternary structure is hydrogen, hydrophobic, and ionic. Okay, so this secondary, tertiary, and quaternary structure, they are maintained by the non-covalent bond. Non-covalent bond like hydrogen bond, hydrophobic bond, electrohydrophobic bond, electrostatic bond, right, and van der Waals. So coming to the primary structure, it means order of amino acid in the polypeptide chain. It denotes the linear sequence of amino acids. Then secondary structure, there is a steric relation of amino acid which are close to each other. Like one amino acid, okay, suppose these are polypeptide chain, and one amino acid, okay, how it correlate with the fourth amino acid, that is denoted by the secondary structure. Then tertiary structure is three-dimensional structure, and how in polypeptide chain one amino acid, and there is a one other amino acid is very far. So how the relationship between the one amino acid and the amino acid which is very far, that is denoted by the tertiary structure. Okay. And quaternary structure is made up of more than two polypeptide chains. So primary structure denotes the number and sequence of amino acids in the protein. Okay, the higher level of organization are decided by this primary structure. So each polypeptide chain has a unique amino acid sequence. If this sequence is changed, then protein is also changed. It is mainly maintained by the covalent bond, that is a peptide bond. So if you see here, there is a amino acids are same, glycine, alanine, valine, but sequence is different, so protein also will be different. Now characteristic of this peptide bond, which is maintaining this primary structure of protein, it is a partial double bond. It is a partial double bond, right? So this CN bond is trans in nature and there is no freedom of rotation because of the partial double bond character. Okay. So distance is 1.32 Armstrong and it is midway between the single bond, that is 1.49, and double bond has a distance of 1.27. That's why it is a partial double bond in nature. The side chains is free to rotate around the peptide bond. and this angle of rotation is known as a Ramachandran angle. Ramachandran angle. Okay, that this R1 R side chain is free to rotate. So in the polypeptide chain, at one end there will be one free alpha amino group. That terminal is called as a N terminal. It is called as a N terminal. On another side, right side, there will be free carboxyl group, which is called as a C terminal. Okay, so this will be N terminal, then amino acids, and last is C terminal. Okay, and it is right like N to C. And each amino acid in the polypeptide chain is named as a I. If it is a glycine, cysteine, and glutamic acid, they are written like glycinyl, cysteinyl, glutamyl. Okay, like so YL is suffix is there for the amino acid which are there in the primary structure. So you can see here in diagram there is N terminal, there is a C terminal, and this amino acid are joined together by the polypeptide, okay, by the peptide bond. Okay, and this whole molecule is called polypeptide. So you can see this CONH, that is a peptide bond. Here it is also peptide bond. Here is also a peptide bond. And here this R1 side chain is free to rotate. That is called as the Ramachandran angle. And CONH bond, it is trans in nature, and it is partial double bond. Nature is partial double bond. Okay, and distance is 1.32 Armstrong. Okay, now we have to write about the primary structure of insulin. So it was first described by the Sanger, and he got the Nobel Prize. So insulin has two polypeptide chain. There is two chain. One is A chain, which is made up of 21 amino acid. B chain is made up of 30 amino acid. A chain is starting from amino acid called glycine. Okay, while B chain is starting from the phenylalanine. And they are held together by the interchain disulfide bond. Okay. Seventh position, there is a cysteine in A chain, and B chain also 7th position, cysteine amino acid. So they are together by this disulfide linkage. Okay, we will see also in diagram. And also there is a disulfide bond between, in A chain is made up of 21 amino acid, 21, B chain is made up of 30. So at the 7th position at both the side, there is disulfide linkage, and 20th amino acid is cysteine, and 19th amino acid in beta chain is cysteine. So there is a linkage between these two, and also there is an interchain between 6 and 11, right? And this 8, 9, 10 amino acid, they are restricted. Okay, the species variation is restricted to amino acid in position 8, 9 chain in A chain and C terminal of B chain. That means in A chain there is 8, 9 and 10 position. This is unique and this is different in different species. Okay, suppose cow insulin or human insulin. So there is a change in sequence in A chain at 8, 9 and 10 position, and in B terminal changes in the last amino acid, that is 30th amino acid. So the porcine insulin and human insulin are structurally similar except terminal. In B chain, in human we have a threonine, while in porcine it is alanine. Okay, so this is a human insulin has a B chain, that is threonine. If it is replaced by alanine, that is porcine. Okay, so as I have mentioned, there is a disulfide linkage, disulfide bond between 7th amino acid of A chain and B chain 7th amino acid, that is cysteine. And in 20 position also in A chain there is cysteine, and 19 position is also cysteine, so there is a disulfide linkage. And 6 and 11, there is 11 also a cysteine, so there is interchain disulfide linkage is also there. This disulfide linkage will provide the stability. And this 8, 9 and 10 sequence of A and 30 is, that is different in different species. Okay, and whenever insulin is secreted, it is secreted as a proinsulin, and when C peptide is removed, it forms the insulin, which is made up of A and B chain. And A and B chain, they are held together by the disulfide linkage, okay, joined together by the disulfide linkage, and there is interchain disulfide bond is also there. while this proinsulin is inactive, and when 30 amino acid are removed as a C peptide, it forms the activated insulin. This is all about the primary structure. It is a linear sequence of amino acids, and it is maintained by mainly the peptide bond and disulfide bond. And left side there is N terminal, right side there is a C terminal, right? And it is every amino acid in the chain is denoted as a YL suffix. Okay, and it is unique. If the sequence is different, then protein also change. Okay, now coming to the secondary structure. This secondary structure denotes the configurational relationship between the amino acids, which are 3 to 4 amino acids apart from each other. Suppose this is one amino acid, this is second, this is third, this is fourth, and 5. So the amino acid which are 3 to 4 amino acid apart from each other, how they are related to each other, that is suggested by the secondary structure. So it is mainly in the two form, that is alpha helix. This is alpha helix, and one is beta pleated sheet. Okay, so we will see in detail now. So secondary structure and tertiary structure, they are maintained by the covalent bonds, non-covalent bonds like hydrogen bonds, electrostatic bonds, hydrophobic bonds. So as I already told, hydrogen bond is maintained by the bond is between the oxygen of CO and hydrogen of NH. Electrostatic bonds, they are between the negatively charged and positively charged amino acid. Hydrophobic interaction between the hydrophobic amino acids and van der Waals force, they are weak force. So alpha helical structure in secondary structure, that is spiral. You can see it is like spiral, like this. Okay, the side chains are extended outwards, side chains are outward. Okay, and bond will form the backbone. Okay, here you have to remember that each turn, suppose this is a turn, is made up of 3.6 amino acid. Okay, and distance between two amino acid is 1.5 Armstrong. Okay, and it is right-handed because most of the amino acid are L variety. Now you have to remember proline never form the alpha helix, while glycine is the smallest amino acid, it will disrupt the alpha helical structure, right? So you can see here that there is a bond between this CO, this is one amino acid, and the 3 to 4 amino acid, apart from at the distance of 3 to 4 amino acids, there is a amino group, okay, of the polypeptide, of the peptide bond, and there is a linkage between this. So this is a hydrogen bond. Okay, I will show you again in the diagram. So you can see here there is a bond between this NH and CO, right? This CO and this NH. Okay, so this is called hydrogen bond, and that will form the helical structure. Okay, and each turn is made up of 3.6 amino acids, and distance between this distance is 0.54 nanometer or 5.4 Armstrong, and distance between two amino acid is 0.50 nanometer or 1.5 Armstrong, right? So you can see how this CO, this oxygen of C, that will bond with the NH, that is called hydrogen bonds. Okay, so they will form the alpha helix. Okay, Linus Pauling and Corey suggested this helical structure, and they got the Nobel Prize. So you can see there is right-handed helix is there, right? Now another structure is secondary structure is beta pleated sheet, which is difference is it is extended, and distance between these two adjacent amino acid is 3.5. Okay, there are two configuration can be there. Yeah, it is made up of two chain. Okay, there will be two polypeptide chain mostly. If both are in same direction, that is called parallel. If they are in different opposite direction, they are called as a anti-parallel. Okay, so again here there is a CO bond, hydrogen bond is there, CO and NH, right? So you can here again also see this is a N terminal, this is C terminal, and here also there is C and L. So this is anti-parallel beta pleated sheet. So there is a bond between oxygen and hydrogen, that is called hydrogen bonds, right? Clear? So this A is anti-parallel because they are here N, here C, here C, here N. They are opposite. Okay, so this is anti-parallel structure and this is parallel beta pleated sheet. Now coming to the loop region. So what is loop? In globular protein, half of the residue is alpha helix and beta sheet. Remaining is loop or coil configuration. It is irregularly ordered compared to the ordered secondary structure. And it is important in antigen binding sites of the antibody. So they are made up of many amino acids, loop region, and it is extended little bit. While this beta turn, okay, it is made up of mainly 3 to 4 amino acid, and they are mainly glycine and proline. Remember, glycine and proline, they will not form alpha helical structure, they will form the turn. Okay, so example of this loop and turn, so they are also called as a super secondary structure. They are called as a super secondary structure. So example is helix, loop, helix, or helix, turn, helix. So difference between loop and turn, that turn is made up of 3 to 4 amino acid and it is mainly a glycine and proline, while loop is, there are more amino acids and it is slightly extended. Okay. Then triple helix, as we will discuss in detail in collagen lecture, that each amino acid is glycine, every third amino acid is glycine, and X and Y is hydroxyproline or hydroxylysine, and made up of 3 alpha chain which is joined together by the hydrogen bonds. So in super secondary structure, there is domain and motif. So domain is functional unit of the protein. Okay, and it is made up of many super secondary structure. Okay, while motif is a part of domain. So this, what is this motif? Motif is made up of secondary and super secondary structure. Like it is made up of alpha helix, then there will be turn, then there will be beta pleated sheet, this type of structure. So suppose there is a helix, turn, helix, so helix, turn, again helix, okay, or helix, loop, and helix. So these type of structures, they will form the motif. And what is domain? Then many motif plus secondary structure like alpha helix and beta pleated sheet, they will combine together, they will form the domain. So domain is advanced and motif is a part of the domain, and they possess a functional unit. Okay, like glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase. Okay, so there will be example is Roseman fold, where alternative alpha helix and beta pleated sheet is there, which is bind together by the turn or loop. Okay, so super secondary structure, so they will contain helical structure, beta pleated sheet plus loop and turn. Okay, so you can see here this is the turn and this is loop, right? And one more is that there is a bond, that CC bond, that is called as a psi bond, and bond between C and N, that is called as a phi bond, right? Just to remember. So this helical structure and beta pleated sheets and super secondary structures like loop, they will form the tertiary structure. Okay, so in secondary structure, the amino acid pair 3 to 4 amino acid apart from each other, while in tertiary structure, one amino acid, difference between two amino acid which are very located far from each other, how they are related. Suppose here you can see this is alpha helical structure, then will be turn, and there is a beta pleated sheet. So suppose this is the first amino acid, and here there will be one amino acid which is located very far from that one first amino acid. So this is 50, but they are related to each other. There is a steric relationship which is maintained by the either hydrogen bond or electrostatic bond or hydrophobic bond. Okay, so how they are related to each other, that is by the tertiary structure. And tertiary structure is a 3-dimensional structure and it is very important for the function of the proteins. So example is myoglobin. Okay, so suppose that polypeptide chain which has a functional unit, that is tertiary structure. So they are maintained by the hydrogen bond, hydrophobic, van der Waals, disulfide or ionic bonds. So you can see here it is made up of alpha helix, beta pleated sheet, turn, loop, that is called as a tertiary structure. And lastly, quaternary structure, which is made up of more than 2 polypeptide chain like lactate dehydrogenase, hemoglobin, which is made up of 4 chains, CK. Okay, and they are also made up of this non-covalent bonds. So hemoglobin, they are made up of 2 alpha chain and 2 beta chain. Okay, immunoglobulin also 2 alpha chain, 2 beta chain. CK is a dimer. LDH again is a tetramer made up of 4 chain. CK is made up of 2 polypeptide chains. Okay, 2 alpha and 2 beta chain. Hemoglobin is made up of, right? So finally, primary structure is determined by the sequence of amino acids, linear sequence of amino acids. Secondary structure, amino acids are linked together by the hydrogen bonds, and which are 3 to 4 amino acids apart from each other. That is, and there are 2 forms, alpha helical and beta pleated sheet. Beta pleated sheet is extended, and distance between 2 amino acids is 3.5 Armstrong. While alpha helical structure, distance between 2 amino acids is 1.5 Armstrong, and each strand is made up of 3.6 residue. Okay, 3.6 residue. Then this helical structure and beta pleated sheet and loop and turn, they will form the tertiary structure, which is a 3-dimensional structure, which is a functional unit. And then when more than 2 polypeptide chains are joined together, they are called as the quaternary structure. So linear sequence is primary structure, secondary structure is alpha helix or beta pleated sheet mainly, others are loop, turn, right? Tertiary structure made up of alpha helix and beta pleated sheet and joined together by turn or loop. When more than 2 polypeptide chains, like in CK, there is dimer, or LDH or hemoglobin, immunoglobulin, they are example of quaternary structure. So I hope you understand the basic of this structure of proteins. If you like this video, please hit the like button, share my video, subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so that you can get notification for my future video also. Thanks for watching. Bye.